Hey, Facebook, YouTube, good afternoon. This is your live real estate show once again, Wednesday at noon. And I'm here to bring you real estate solutions, real estate topics, conversations, one-on-ones, and possibly create a platform which you can log in at any time and ask questions. I'm looking at my live chat here and I'm ready to answer any questions that you may have. And, I really depend on your support, again, to make this show even better over time and create more of an audience. Again, I do nothing this for profitability. I do this for you, the viewer, the fan, or somebody that just want to learn a little bit about purchasing a home or selling a home, or even on the real estate side. A lot of my colleagues are real estate agents, and sometimes they can learn from what I bring onto the show here. And it's really a passion of mine. I like to educate, and I'm trying to do my best to get to that point where, well, forgive me, I'm probably a little bit far from my microphone, so you probably couldn't hear me very well. Hopefully you did. Maybe I am loud enough for those little microphones up front to listen to me. But anyways, again, hopefully I deserve your support. And if you can, always put a like on the Facebook ad or put a like on YouTube channel. Subscribe to my channel. And you can always find at the end of the show, I'll put a link where you can find all my social media links. Basically, it's sort of like a book of all my links. I put it in there and you can just choose where you want to go. Find my professional websites, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, it's all there. Okay. But anyways, I have a few topics today. I don't have a special guest. Bam, bam, bam. But I am trying to make this as interesting as possible for you today, bringing some cool topics. Okay. Again, it is August the 11th, 2021. Okay. So every reference I make today is based up to date. And I don't want you to be watching this video 2 or 3 years from now and think what I'm saying is happening at that time. So just want to be careful there. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you all know that there are an enormous amount of copyrights that I, as a podcaster or a broadcaster live, have to be sure to not infringe these copyrights? Okay. And it's usually music that one can get in trouble. So I haven't yet figured out that part of my podcast. I haven't included any music into my podcasts. But I know that there are places where I can buy sort of a stock song and stuff that I'll purchase the rights to use them in my podcast. Believe it or not, sometimes even the artists themselves have copyrights issues to deal with when they're playing their own songs in certain platforms, because they're usually owned by different recording companies and such. So they have issues with that as well. But in this case, let me tell you a little bit of story. I, as a young man, Brazilian in Florida, my group of friends, they were mostly Brazilian, if not all of them, really. And I had a group of friends of mine, and I still have this group of friends. And by the way, hello. They taught me how to play a Brazilian pop song, which is pagode, okay, which it's the pop of samba, which some of you may already heard about if you're not familiar with Brazil, samba, carnival. Okay, so pagode was the pop side of samba, right? Played in different regions of Brazil. And then I played in the band. I needed to learn an instrument to be part of it. So I started with the spoon, which is really not quite used in the band, but that was the only thing that I can manipulate with my hands. And
So I was just playing time, tuck, 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 tuck. So that was the first thing I got in, but it's really not part of the band, that kind of instrument. It's spoons, both spoons. Um, so then I really always wanted to learn the drums. So then I picked up this huge drum. It's called the tun tun, and I don't think I was really that great at it either. But with time, I gotten better and had better timing, and so on. But anyway, so I felt like today, just to initiate and get things going here, and since I never since I never had sounds in my podcast, why not just add something that maybe some of your viewers are going to be entertained? But hey, look, um, I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm about to look like a fool here, okay? But this is an instrument called the Pandeiro. My kids managed to break a few of these rings here, but this was a gift from a friend of mine, Steve. Hello, Steve. What's up? If you're listening, thank you. And he gave me this as a goodbye gift when I moved from Florida to Houston, and and he knew I never. Man, I got to tell you, it took me years to figure this out until he gave me the instrument. I took it home, and I'm like, you know what? I miss my buddies. I miss playing music. I miss it. I have to learn this instrument. It's the only one that I carried here. I didn't bring the tantan, by the way. I brought this, and and it was great, because I got to learn another instrument. But again, I'm not the best at it. So, and I don't have any songs yet I'm following. But check it out. I got it. So there you go, guys. That's the pandeiro for you, and it's a Brazilian instrument, but I guess not so Brazilian. I think you can. I think there may be other countries that use them, but different types, different qualities. But pandeiro for you guys. Pandeiro, real hard to learn. For some, I guess, are listening and they know how to play this and don't quite remember how hard or easy it was. It was hard for me. It was hard for me. I guess some people, it comes to them naturally and they learn quite fast. But I'm telling you, I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, basically. And it's hard to keep a rhythm on that particular thing. I have a phone call coming in here. I'm not going to answer. I'm going to say, can I call you back as soon as possible? Because we got a show to make here, guys, and hopefully you enjoyed the little pandeiro there. But this is a question that everybody's asking. Again, it is August 11, and they are asking, are the interest rates, the mortgage interest rates, going to remain the same? Are they going to drop? Are they going to go up? That's the question that it's everybody asking out there for the most part. And and you know what? And that's the thing. I think this is a question that someone that is maybe thinking of purchasing a home this year, and maybe they're still arranging a couple of things before they can, or maybe their lease is not ending, this soon yet, and then they're hoping that they can still get the good low interest rates when they're ready. However, we're looking at the past week, we had definitely a dip on the interest rate, which is really cool. So historic lows again come this last week. Will it remain the same? Well, for the next week or two, I'll say, it is likely that every time you see a dip, that the tendency is to go up, right? Just like maybe the stock market, sometimes you see the lows and you see the highs. That wave is always going to happen, but the changes are quite small. They're not incredibly large changes. Okay, they're not like you're getting 1% change from one day to the other. They're more small increments, like an eighth of a quarter or something like that. But yeah, we did see a dip last week. And I think this week it was lower also. So it's likely the next week we're going to see a hike. but I don't think it's going to be a spike or hike, whatever you call it. But I don't think it's going to be anywhere above 3%. I think we're going to stay pretty much at the threes, 3 1/8, so to speak. I think it's too soon to say that the rates are going to climb up. As of right now, keeping the rates low is strategic. You may have already heard from me on a previous podcast. It's strategic to encourage job creation, to encourage more real estate purchases, which creates more jobs. Also, believe it or not, and is it time to buy a house? Absolutely. Yeah, all the houses are too expensive. We have low inventories. Well, I mean, I think the last time I look at it, month to month, we went over 1.4% higher in real estate sales. So it's with the rates this low, it's always a good time to buy. I am serious. It's almost free money, guys. Take advantage to upgrade your home. Take advantage to buy your first home at a very low interest rates. And believe me, things are quite different from what it was in 2009. We don't think the market itself is going to be impacted, where prices are going to be dropping dramatically, where it will affect the real estate industry itself. I think we have placed in the market. I think we have set some standards, some better standards this time around, where lenders are a little bit wiser than they were back in 2009, where they're not going to cripple themselves by just throwing a bunch of foreclosures in the middle. Yes, we do have a lot of forbearances out there, guys. And this may be the opportunity you have to also sell your home if you're in forbearance. Don't wait until it's too late. But anyways, so I'm going to tell you this. Will it go up? Eventually, it has to. There are going to be inflations coming in pretty soon. Eventually, it has to. We don't know when. But for the most part, if you're thinking about locking your rate, you got a home loan right now, and you just got a contract executed, run and lock your rates, because it is historic low at this point. You can even get some credit sometimes, depending on which rate you choose. But I can tell you that this is the time to lock your rates. Next week may be different. So don't wait until next week. Don't float too much. I don't think it will be lower next week. I think there's going to be a small adjustment. And as far as real estate pricing goes, just to go back to what I was saying before, I lost track in my head. Well, I think there's definitely going to be an adjustments. We're having trouble playing this video here somehow. I hope live is still going on. I am going to refresh it here. It looks like it's still going. Okay, but I think there's definitely going to be a market adjustment, but not a price drop that's going to hurt us. So those of you that are purchasing a home right now, if you manage to find a home of your dreams, of today's dreams, and you have historic lows on your side, low interest rates, I mean, you can ride the next 10 years wave, even if the price goes down a little bit or substantial, that you would, oh my God, I owe more than my house is worth. Well, all you got to do is, if it's affordable to you right now, rates this low, all you got to do is wait for the next wave, guys. You know what I'm saying? Don't be fearful to buying it right now, thinking you're buying at the very top of the market. Don't be afraid of that. Just take advantage of historic lows. That's it. That's what you got to do. But anyways, on a different topic here, and this is pretty interesting. So again, you guys open to leave me any comments, ask any questions live on Facebook. But for the most part, if you have questions, you can always always ask them, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible on those. Okay. But anyways, service animals, pets, dogs, emotional support animals, pets, or whatever. So there's a lot of questions about that, right? And it affects a huge group of people in different ways. It's quite something, to be honest with you. And I'm trying to kind of put science behind it, put some thoughts in it for you guys to understand where I'm coming from. Okay, so it is very important for us to be able to identify what a service animal really is, what a pet, how a pet is defined by the ADA, when calling it a service animal. Does landlord, and this is where I wanted to get, does the landlord has the right to deny you if you have pets or service animals? Those are the big questions here, guys. Okay. So let me give you a scenario. Let's say you are a real estate investor, you purchase a home and you're leasing that home. Now you're a landlord, you're a professional landlord, or you're not a professional landlord. This is your first home, let's say, that you bought it for yourself. And then when you bought the second one, you put it for lease. But then an application came, and there are laws that protect, those that have true disabilities and disabilities that require a service animal. In the eyes of the ADA, service animal or a pet, that is a dog. Okay. So if you are in the process of applying for a lease, and the landlord says, you know what, I really don't want any pets in my house. I want to lease it to somebody that doesn't have any pets. However, he must accept someone that has a service animal requirement or needs. Okay. It's very delicate here because, and I'll read something that I think the National Association of Realtors have said, fair housing and ADA, reasonable accommodations for service animals. So those things need to be in place. So a lot of times my landlords, when they're asking me to list their homes, they're going to, they come to me and say, no, I don't want any dogs. I think they're going to destroy my house. They're going to pee, they're going to poop, they're going to eat wood and stuff like that. And usually pet deposits and security deposits don't cover all the damages that dogs can have. And then my house is smelly. Yeah, I mean, sure, well, so while someone that just want a pet for your home, a dog, a cat, a turtle, a rabbit, fish, or whatnot, the landlord has the rights to say, no, I do not want them here at all. I just don't want pets. I just don't want, I don't want it, period. Okay. For me, for the most part, whenever I'm meeting with the new landlord, I'm like, hey man, look, I think you need to at least advertise that you would accept an animal case by case basis, because every time you say, hey, no pets allowed, there's going to be a whole lot of people, like especially here in Texas, man, a lot of people have dogs. I mean, seriously, a lot of people, and this is their family, and a lot of times, I mean, they're coming from out of town, they have a pet, and it's quite difficult to find a house, that the owners are going to accept, 2 60-plus-pound dogs coming in the house. You got to put yourself in their shoes too. Oh, but my dog is so well trained and party trained, and he's old and whatnot. But then there's like the thought of fleas and the thought of the smell. Is it an indoor house? Is it an outdoor dog? Was it an indoor dog and outdoor, dogs destroy the yard, they create paths and eat and holes and destroy the grass because of the urination acid, I mean, those things can play a question in the landlord's mind. So again, he has every right to not want to have a pet, okay? Just a pet. However, when it comes to service dogs, yeah, the ADA, the federal, the Fair Housing and ADA created a sort of a law. I mean, that you are close to discrimination when you say no to somebody that has a emotional dog of some sort, and then you don't, typically 9 out of 10, these landlords don't know the difference. I mean, they're not aware of laws that protect them. So as the agent have to do that job for them and create a safety net. But anyway, so it says here that about 56.7 million people, or nearly 1 in 5 Americans, report having a disability. Okay. The claims of disability discrimination make up nearly 55% of all fair housing complaints filed with the Department of Housing and Urban Development. This white paper covers the federal, state, and local laws that protect persons with disabilities. Further, there is a discussion regarding the denial of a request for accommodations in housing. There have been several states adopting legislation to prevent abuse of the rights to request accommodations. But anyways, either way, if you have someone that, if you have somebody that fall under service animal, like you are disabled, you have disability, and you need, you're blind or you're deaf or whatever it may be, you need a service dog. The dog, if you're going to claim this dog to be a service animal, that dog needs to actually work for that job, right? So it needs to be an active dog in the role to service you at all times. But not, most of the time, people with disabilities and that require recommendation by their doctors, they require you to have a service dog, not a service pet, a service dog, in my opinion. Yes, landlords cannot discriminate that and deny them the ability to lease their home. Okay. So, but what I've been getting a whole lot, and I think this is a discussion that's been happening all across the nation. I think Texas have done quite a good job in protecting the landlords and the agents in this matter. Is the fact that, the fair housing, makes it so that, we recognize emotional support, a dog that is also for emotional support. But here's the problem with that. A lot of applicants have taken advantage of how easy it is for you to go online and pretty much go to a site that offers you a certification. Okay, it offers you a certificate that you need emotional support, that your dog is now certified as an emotional support dog. But all it takes is you to self-diagnose yourself that, oh my God, I need a dog support in my life, emotional support. And then you go online and you pay this website so that they can simply give you a certificate that your dog is now a service dog or emotional support dog. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's supposed to be that way. I believe changes have been made recently. But there's a lot of abuse on that area. A lot of abuse in that area. So be aware. Okay. What I think Texas have been pretty good at is let's make a little bit more sense of this and say, okay, so in order for us to accept your dog as a animal support, um, a support animal, emotional support, we want to see an actual diagnosis from a doctor, a letter that says, hey, you know what, my client would do recommend her to have emotional support. And that makes a little bit more sense. And then we're having no problems, sure, we're going to treat you exactly the same as a person that is blind and have disability. But if you just turn around and self-diagnose yourself and buy a certificate that anyone can do, and try to push this discrimination act over us, this fair housing laws over the landlords and the agents, that's just not fair, man. It's a trick. I think these websites that offer these fake certificates should be brought down to justice as well. But anyways, that's my opinion on it. But again, can a tenant be evicted by having a pet? Sure can. Fish tanks is one that, remember back in the days, we have beds, mattresses that had water in it, like water mattresses. Well, believe it or not, these mattresses caused a whole lot of damages to landlord homes because, what happened was your tenant brought a water mattress to the house on the second floor, and then somehow it leaked and it damaged the entire house. And the security deposits usually don't cover it. It's not enough. You know what I'm saying? So, so that got eliminated. So now landlords do not accept water mattresses. But the same thing about fish tanks as well. How often does fish tanks break? I don't think that often, but if they do, they can damage somebody's home. It can damage your home, by the way. So watch out where your kids put the fish tank and how to take care of it. Take care of the fish tank, because these fish tanks can one day break because you didn't keep up with the seals and now it's leaking, and then all of a sudden, boom, you overfilled it. Something happened, and then it damaged your house. So sometimes landlords just don't want to have that kind of liability given to the amount of pets or the type of pet that somebody's asking to have in their homes. Okay. But again, service animals are dogs. They're not iguanas. They're not ferrets. Okay. And then if you're going to claim emotional support, I think it falls under the same category. They're a dog, not an iguana. Okay. But anyways, I do have a question here, guys. I do have a question. All right, Paulo, thank you for your question, my friend. I got to tell you, he's asking, guys, this is a good question. Should I invest in stocks, or is investing in real estate better? That's an excellent question. And I do run into it a couple of times with investors. I got to tell you that in the last 2 to 3 years, investing in the stock in my opinion, has definitely been better than real estate. I mean, at least gain wise, the returns in the stock market have been better in the last 3 years. I think it was 8% average versus 6% average. Okay, and return on your money. All right. Well, y'all know the difference. Follow, you all know the difference, the big difference between one of the two. Stocks have a lot of risk. I mean, one, you need to know what you're doing. And believe me, nowadays, a lot of people are getting pretty savvy with investing in stocks. I'm still learning, by the way. But, and I think we should all consider that you're still learning too. Okay, don't be arrogant and think that you're an expert on stock trading, because it will bite you in the booty. Okay, but I gotta say, real estate is something tangible, right? It's something you can touch. So while I love having better gains, I rather having a gains that are maybe lower, but they're more consistent, they're more safe, and it is attached to something tangible, right? It's something you can touch. And then I got to say this too. I think to better answer your question, I think you need to do both. You have money set aside to play with stocks and then money to invest in real estate. Yeah, I mean, maybe when you die and you're going to pass on your portfolio to your kids, they're going to lose it all in one day in the stock market, or your kids are going to take longer to destroy the real estate empire you left behind. So those things that you need to think about as well. But I think I'm not sure if you ever listened to this, but Lex Luthor, right, character in the Superman genre and the DC world. I got to say that one good takeaway from him that said his father said that you can manufacture anything, but one thing you can't manufacture is land. So take as many as you can while you can. So I think that's the best way I can put it together for you. It is definitely right now. I think there are definitely ways to get higher returns with real estate, higher than the average. There's ways to do it, and you should call me so we can discuss it. Maybe one day I'll do all about investment there. We'll show you some tricks, but for the most part, especially now with the lower inventory situation that we're seeing in the major markets, um, we find it a little bit difficult to achieve the higher return. So the stock market is definitely attractive in some ways. And don't get me started with cryptocurrency, because that's something that I think nobody really understands. And there's a lot of videos contradicting one or the other. There's no one solid idea about cryptocurrency out there. We're talking about stocks here, right, Paulo? So anyways, my dad said something: for retired people, real estate is more safe. There you go. My dad said for retired people, real estate is more safe. Of course it is. I honestly, I have a few clients that they are, all their retirement money is locked in real estate, and they live off of a pretty good income out of those things. If you do it right, all of them are paid off and you get a pretty good income. And then when it's time to maybe cash out, you're cashing out. Like this market, today's market, somebody that has a portfolio for over 15 years in real estate, this year alone was a really good year to cash out. um, Absolutely, Dad. For retired people, real estate is definitely the safer route there, guys. But again, I would say that right now, if you're not retired and you're just beginning your life into investments, I think you need to prepare yourself to do both. For the most part, buy your primary residence, okay? And while you maintain a job and you're also investing in the stock market, okay? But do it carefully, not lose your money, okay? Use only your play money on the stock market, because you never know when you can lose your money from 1 minute or a second to the other. But anyway, so my next subject here was, and hopefully any more questions comes in here. Appreciate that you're participating, and Paulo as well. I got to tell you this. My next subject is work-life balance. Oh my God. Work-life balance. That's one thing that I don't know if I can teach you anything about it, to be honest with you. I am not incredibly good at it, and I keep on proving myself that I make mistakes on that as well, and I suffer and I pay for it, right? So But anyways, who needs a life, right? Well, you do, and I do. Um, I got to tell you, so for any business, whether you're in real estate or any other career, okay, um, for me personally, I'm in real estate, and I got to tell you that it's tough sometimes. And I'm going to relate to, like, for instance, last night. Um, I had a long day. I left the house, I think it was 7:30 in the morning. I had showings, I had meetings, I had contracts to discuss, I have documents to write. I travel all over the place. I drove like 400 miles. I get home like around, I think I got home actually early yesterday, maybe 4:30. I got home early, but I still had a lot of computer things to do, a lot of documents to write. And that's why I sat down a little bit early to cover these things. And but boy, phone calls wouldn't stop until like 9 o'clock, 9:30, and I hide myself in my meeting room. I cannot even do the office anymore. And poor kids, they want my attention. They're running around the house, and they're trying to get my attention the most. And I'm honestly super concentrated, getting upset that they're making noise, and then barging into the room when I'm talking to somebody, and things that they don't quite understand yet. My young one, at least, that you're talking to somebody on the phone, they interrupt you, or they want to be participating in that conversation. Yeah, that's what my younger one likes to do. He likes to participate in every conversation. So he sees me talking on the phone, he wants to jump in and give his one or two and three opinions there. If I laugh, he laughs, and he thinks it's funny, and it's all gravy. But dad wants to work, that he needs to finish work, so that, yeah, I can spend time with you, and be a fruitful time and enjoy. So work life balance, it is easier when you're not very busy. It is easier probably when you have a 9 to 5 job, and all you do is lock the doors, close the doors, go home, and you're done. But in me, it's like it's almost 24/7 in operation. There's no doors to lock. There's always an email. There's the phone. There's documents. And I mean, last night, like I said, I was still expecting a contract to be executed at 10 p.m. And there were things that hadn't needed to be done. But I tell you, like, it's tough because in real estate you wear a lot of hats. You're the listing agent, you're the buyer's representative, you're your marketing person, you're your own assistant, you are the data entry person. Did I say marketing? Did I say accounting? Oh my God, that's another nightmare. That with time, as we get more successful, we can tend to hire people to do that for us, so we can have better work-life balance. But I've seen it where the solution, and this is something that I've tried to implement it all the time, because the balance is to also continue servicing your clients the way they expect or they've learned from you in the past. And that's something else. Like, your clients are going to respect your time based on how you presented them your availability. If I'm putting this in good words here, like, for instance, just to give you an example, if I answer my calls at 9 and 10 p.m. a night before to that particular client, the next day he's going to think he can call me 9 and 10 p.m. because he's expecting that I'm going to answer. So we're creatures of habits, right? So if I create a habit with my clients, they are going to continue following that habit. Okay. So in most part, what I try to do, and I recommend those that are watching, it's to create some ground rules, guys. I mean, and like, for instance, my brother, that was also in a real estate business in Florida, he because of his church religion or whatever it was, they created a Sabbath day. He's not Jewish, but I think he's trying to imitate the Jewish. I don't know what it is, but they create a Sabbath day, and I understand it. I think it was Saturday or Sunday was a day that he will not do any business. He will not answer emails, phone calls, and whatnot. Well, I mean, I gotta say that the bulk of my business is Saturday and Sunday, so that would have been a little bit hard. But I can take a Monday and do a Sabbath Monday where I do not answer. But what we tend to do in this industry is really set aside and schedule, book ahead some time off, so we create a lot of habits, not a lot of hobbies in that sense, or at least stick to at least one hobby. Like me, I said it before, I like racing cars, taking cars to the track. So, at least 5 to 6 times a year, I have allocated time for me to do that. Now I fell in love last weekend. I fell in love with wake surfing. Danny, my man, you got me, man. You got me. Love it. I want to do it. Want to continue doing it. So I'm going to have to set aside time for me to do that. Creating work and life balance. But on my daily basis, what do you guys think I should do? Just give me your opinion, guys, and send me your comments and questions, and let me know what you think I should do. I am actually thinking that maybe, hey, answer your calls 8 to 7 p.m. and then just turn it all off. A lot of clients are going to be like maybe upset with me, but they can get with me in the morning. It's not much I can do at nighttime. Just because, look, I have supper, y'all have supper, y'all have family time to attend to. So yeah, work balance, life balance has been a challenge. It is easier when you're not so busy, but when you're busy, you only have so much time for accomplishing your work tasks. And then you got to include wife and kids in it. So it's really, really, really hard, guys. It really is. It makes me cry sometimes. But it is what it is. Like for me, for instance, I work from home for the most part. I have an office, a mortgage office. And now with the new around town property brokerage that I'm with, same team, by the way, as the Remax Pioneers and Prestige that I was in for the last 8 years, they decided to have remote offices. And then the desks are not really mine. I can be there, I can go anytime there, but the desks are not really mine. So I wouldn't have stuff for me there. You know what I'm saying? They're not really mine. So yeah, I just work from home for the most part. But like today, my wife wasn't really feeling that good. She wakes up in the morning, and I wake up in the morning and I realize that she is not going to work today, and tells me she's not feeling good. And by the way, the kids are staying home, and I'm like, oh my God, all that time, that the time with which I have to be creative, to think and work, and then do the podcast today. It's pretty challenging because now you have the kids running around. And by the way, I had to shut them down in the room upstairs. So I couldn't do this. I have a problem with concentration, right? So work-life balance, it's been a challenge. So any ideas, guys, please shoot out to me. And I appreciate it. We can talk maybe at one time, maybe next week, see if I implement any of your ideas, if any. But yeah, I'm thinking about shutting it down at 7 p.m. Don't answer emails, don't answer phone calls, and close down the laptop, and then just move on with the rest of the night with the kids and the wife and the family, and then start again next morning. Maybe take Mondays off. Maybe I really can't, really, guys. I really can't. I take off when I can. Like last weekend, I took the weekend off. I needed it. The kids needed it, really, because the summer, I think we have 2 more weeks to go, and then the school starts again. So I needed to do something with them, and we're thinking maybe soon here going to Six Flags as well before school starts, or at least Labor weekend, 1 week after the school starts for my kids in my district. But anyways. But that's that on the work balance, life balance, work-life balance. Okay, guys. But another subject that I wanted to touch here that y'all must know, okay, it's quite a problem that's been happening here, and it has gotten worse over the last 2 to 3 years, and that is wire fraud, and particularly in the real estate marketplace. Okay, so if you're still with me here, it's been 45 minutes. I've been live. If you're still with me here, you want to hear this. Wire fraud, guys. Wire fraud is happening. It's one of the I think it's in 5th place in cyber crimes going on in the US right now, per the FBI. Well, my friends and ladies and gentlemen, what's happening is you have a buyer and a seller that are within a transaction, and there are going to be multiple emails being exchanged between the listing agent and the buyer's agent. And then there is a title company's email, which is typically nowadays encrypted, but still, if you have a hacker wanting your money, man, and he knows what he's doing, there's no encryption that he can't break sometimes, right? But for the most part, we in the industry are now very much aware of wire fraud. As a matter of fact, when you sign a contract with me, I do have a wire fraud protect yourself form, just to say, hey, I warned you, you need to protect yourself for wire fraud, because 9 out of 10, or I keep on saying 9 out of 10, but 99% of the time, it's not your agent's fault. Okay. But I got to tell you this, and you have the insurance company, you have the mortgage company, and the wire frauds that happened around me. It didn't happen to any of my clients, but it happened around me with other associates. They still couldn't find out from where the wire fraud started from. Yeah, we couldn't find out where it came from. How did it started? Where was the leak? I mean, I'm talking about email. It usually starts through a compromised email, guys. And this is how it's important for you to be aware the conditions of your computer, your internet, and also take some courses, if you don't know better, about how to protect yourself from clicking on links that you shouldn't be clicking. You know, these hackers, hold on a second, 1 second. What's up, Mr. Leon? 1 second. So yeah, that's how they get you. They are so creative that what they do is they send you an email that looks like an email that you've already gotten before. Like, let's just say you having a PayPal account. So yeah, you should be getting some PayPal updates. But sometimes what these people do, and they send you an email with links that appear to be PayPal, but they're not. And that's how they infected you. But what's happening is that somewhere within a real estate transaction, these cyber criminals are intersecting an email, a composed email from one party to the other. We don't know who at this point, right? It could be the title company, it could be the buyer, it could be the seller, it could be the real estate agents. One of them have been compromised. Okay. And then when it comes down to, okay, we're about to close, we're setting up our closing date for next Friday. And then these cyber criminals know exactly when to contact you, because he's following through that transaction. He's embedded in one of you's computers, so he knows where you're at with it. And then what he does is maybe sends an email out there or call your client and say, hey, I am the title company, and I'm here to give you wiring instructions for you to wire your total closing funds, your total funds to close. You see, you're a buyer, right? You are a buyer. And then typically you have, I mean, you got to come up with a couple of grand. I mean, some people put 20, 30% down payments in their home. So they're like literally putting $80,000 having $80,000 wired to a title company. What if one of these guys intersect and contact you, and then and then, I mean, honestly, everything that guy said sounded like it's exactly what you were expecting to sound like. You know, he knew the address of the home I'm buying. He knew the title company's name, or presented themselves like the title company that he works for, that you were working with. And then all of a sudden you wire your money to a criminal, and bye-bye. You'll never see that money again. Yep. Never see your money again. And likely now you're in default because you can't purchase that home. You used all your life savings to purchase that house in that scenario, let's just say. Yeah, wire fraud is real. So about 11,677 people were victims of wire fraud in real estate and the rental sector in 2019. That number increased to about 15,000 for 2020, and then accounting for about $221 million. Okay, and also a 48% increase from 2018 to 2019, and then 2020. I don't know if my numbers are correct for. Let me see here. I'm going to search here real quick. See if there is any wire fraud surveys going on here by the FBI real quick. American Land Title Association has something about to say here. Let's see here. If my internet is kind of weird and out of whack today for some reason. Yeah, I changed my mind. Okay, so just to have that idea, though, it's happening, and it's happening all over the place. And believe it or not, these cyber crimes are going to be even worse. Okay, I had my identity stolen, my IRS. I think a lot of people have that issue. You know, IRS frauds happen all the time where they file a tax return, trying to get return money back from the IRS, and you walk away with your money, right? So that happens too. But wire fraud, if you're thinking of buying a house, just one tip of advice is do not take the wire instructions from anyone but the person that you can touch, see, and talk to in person. I do recommend, if you get a random email, here's my wire instructions, send your money here. Do not. Okay. I would personally call, if you don't want to go to the title company, I would personally call and speak with that person, calling the institution itself. I mean, you can, find a number on Google and all that jazz. It's the business, it's a business place, and you know who you're looking for. You've got multiple emails. That person is in your contracts. You know what I mean? So call that person and verify. Take the wire instructions over the phone with them. Okay. Or, I mean, sometimes they do send you that encrypted email with a PDF attached in it. It is encrypted. You need a password sometimes to get in, one that is personal to you only. And then maybe you can call and then say, hey, can you email me right now? And then that email that just came in is from the title company. Good to know, right? Wire fraud, guys. Wire fraud. Be very careful. It's happening all over the place. And when you least expect, they trick you, man. They trick you. They know how to do that. They know how to trick you and make you think you're talking to the right person. You're not. And you sent the money, and bye-bye. Okay? But on the better news, with better news here, I'm going to say that the National Association of Realtors just announced last week Well, we're now partners with 1-800-GOT-JUNK. It is true. I'm not lying. I want to put a little spin here. It is true. We're partnered with 1-800-GOT-JUNK now. So apparently we got a $50 discount that we can pass on to our clients. Yeah. So if you need your junk removed from your home, you can call John. I'll get you good discounts for removing your junk. So that is happening. National Association of Realtors did partner with Got Junk, and believe me, it's going to help. I mean, it's definitely going to save my clients some money, and it's possibly a good savings for myself if I ever have an investment that I bought, a flip or something. I want junks out, and I can save some money. That's great, no problem. So that's the kind of thing that National Association of Realtors does for their associates, their members. They always looking for a way to better our business, our lives, and including yours, so our buyers, our sellers, our clients. So yeah, I mean, it's if there's nothing else we can do, let's do something. I guess let's do something. Let's save people money. Let's join with Got Junk. So yeah, and this is it for today's live talk show, real estate talk show. And I didn't have any more questions, but you are welcome. If you watch this in a later time, please post your questions. Please don't forget to also click on the description, a link where it can take you to my YouTube channel and all my social media links, where you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, like it, put any comments, any criticisms that you think that I need to better the show. And I have one last announcement. I have 3 minutes left here to stay under an hour. I must tell you this. I am thinking very much to change the Wednesday podcast to Saturday morning at 9 a.m. I want to hear what you got to say about that. If you can, please. If you're listening all the way to the end, I know you're going to tell me, what day you think if I should change it to Saturday morning at 9 a.m. And then Sundays, we can do Sunday specials. But Sundays, I do like to work or stay with my family. So it's a little tough. But Saturday mornings, I'm thinking of changing Wednesday noons to Saturday 9 a.m.s for the live podcast here on Facebook to see if I can get a bigger audience from Facebook. Man, I don't have a lot of followers on Facebook. I really don't. But I mean, the percentage of people that can be tuning in right now and asking questions and finding out about real estate could have been a little bit bigger. Right now, I have 3 people tuned in with me, and I appreciate all the viewers, all the support that you guys are giving me. And I hope to see you next week on my next week's Wednesday at noon live real estate talk show. All right, guys, thank you so much for the opportunity. Hopefully you were entertained. Thank you so much.